Hello, everybody. I'm super happy to be back with you. I miss you a lot. Many things have happened, and we're going to talk all about it with very nice coffee, tea, beer, whatever. My name is Maria, co founder at 7 Days to Go, and together with other like 40 experts, we're trying to make business work. What is trying to make business work? That means understanding success, understanding what we can do together to help you out, to define and to make it work in business. And that's why we're super happy and super excited to open a new series of our virtual events, specifically this format that we really like. I really like. It's called Coffee Break with Maria. So this is me. I will be interviewing one each of our experts across our 10 different categories. We have from, well, coaching and work-life balance to really hard business topics like financials, accounting, marketing, sales, all you need. So our intention with this is to bring you what you need and to make it in a way that you can really understand it, no matter if you're in ideation phase, if you're ready or there, or if you're already making a lot of money, you're thinking, what's next? Yeah. So regardless of who you are, where are you from, what type of business you are, we have the right experts for you. And today, I'm super honored and super excited to introduce you to Amor Mutuo. Sounds amazing name. That's an amazing name. There he is. Wow, here you are.
Morning, Maria. Salud.
Salute.
Nice
So
to see
I'm
the coffee
super
spread
happy
again.
to see you and to also see there that you are actually helping me out to introduce you as our disruption expert. What is that? Tell us a little bit about who you are and what is disruption expert? Yeah.
Thanks for asking. I think the best way to explain it is change. Everybody knows a little bit about change. We're all dealing with some type of change in life. And disruption is the real big wave that shakes you upside down. You don't know where you're going. You don't know if you'll make it up or not. It's the biggest change you can experience. But besides that, there are different waves of change. And with my clients and the things that I create, the teachings that I do, I teach people to actually realize that they can float and swim on waves of change. They don't have to worry as much about sinking because if you just breathe, you'll stay afloat. And if we practice it, we can also surf waves of change. So we can really enjoy the momentum and we learn to really look at a wave and be like, okay, this is the time to rest. Now it's time to paddle. I'm going to jump on my board and I'm going to surf. So I teach people to deal with change.
Wow. What you just said really goes with my t-shirt today. Look at this.
Your
This is
lifestyle is interesting.
my lifestyle is like surfing right now. Actually, I'm in Colombia. That explains the sweat. That is not happening in the Netherlands today, unfortunately. But I'm hoping to go back soon and bring some sun with you, with me.
Well,
But
happy to have you
okay.
back, Maria. Happy to have you back.
Amazing. So let's talk about our topic today. Today we're going to talk about energy in business, how to really make it work. So what is that meaning? What were like our ideas when we were thinking about this topic?
A lot of times, a business who does not continue, a business who stops, is because maybe a team is failing, maybe the idea is failing. But at some point, the energy that you're putting into the business is not creating a growth. So something went wrong in that aspect. And I think it's a beautiful topic for the beginning of the year. We're all full of energy. We've had a pretty crazy year behind us. And what is the return on the energy that we are investing in our business? And are we investing the right energy in our business? I think it's a great question to ask and explore how you can really make your business work, because energy is also about attention. So what part of your business are you focused on to really see returns, or are you actually focusing on the wrong things in your business?
Super important, especially when you want to make priorities and when the weather is going to be or expected to be way better. So you want to make the best out of the kamehameha, right? What you really put in your business. I love the kamehameha, by the way. I love it so.
Final flash. I go for the final flash. I like the digital.
Great. So we have prepared some questions, of course, because this is a really big topic. We can do like I don't know how many coffees. I'll be probably switching to tea by the time we're done with the topic. So just as an introduction, a little appetizer for the next 25 minutes. We have prepared some questions, but because this is a live event, of course, we invite everybody who's watching and is going to be watching later, even later, to post your questions, like join the conversation and talk about energy, how it's affecting you and your business. What's your relationship with it? Do you even think about this? Yeah. So let's
Yeah.
let's start with something basic, like you have taught me so much, and I have to say that in public, about energy and about the different dimensions of energy. So let's
Mm.
talk about what are the different energetic dimensions, because there's something called like that, that we're like, I didn't know that it was something like
Mm.
diverse, and different. So what are the energetic dimensions, and how they can affect your business, because we're not levitating in business. How can we land it to the context of business?
I think the crossover from person to business is going to be very interesting today. You as a human, you have to eat and you have to sleep and you have to exercise, and then everything will be all right. Yes, it's that simple.
Mhm.
If you move on in life, you discover the human battery is a bit more complicated. So, besides the physical aspect of your energy, you also are dealing with spiritual energy, you're also dealing with emotional energy and with mental energy. The spiritual one is really related to the purpose, why you are spending all this energy. The emotional one is the quality of your energy. You can have a lot of energy, but if you're in a bad mood, it's going to be not so great. And the mental one is the focus. Are you able to really direct your energy to a certain point? The physical one is the quantity, is your stamina. That's all happening inside your body. And then you, as a human, you can place yourself in a different environment. So, what energy are you getting from the place you're at? You're now in a very nice, warm environment. It's costing you less energy to be there. While if you're in a super rainy, windy place, you as a human are spending a lot of energy. The social energy is more related to the people which you have access to and who you are interacting with. As I remember this poster of if you're feeling depressed, make sure you're not surrounded by assholes. It's a very
Amen.
example of the effect that people have on you. I think one
100%.
that is very interesting is the digital dimension. This right here is such a big effect on our energy, what we interact with, what are we showing ourselves, what is that doing to us. And then also last but not least is the financial dimension. We can have a lot of worries and stress about finances, and back in the day it would be more related to survival in the sense that you would eat or not. But I think for most of the people who are tuning in, it more has to do with your experience of safety and reaching your goals. So these eight
Mm.
dimensions, you can find them also if you want to download them on my website. But mostly, if you look at it from a business perspective, you as a human have to have focus, have to have a good mood, have to have plenty of energy to pour into a business which has to align with your values. What are you doing this for? Like you, Maria, I heard a little bit about your past story and the fact that you care about connecting people, helping people, and the personal experiences you had starting your business in the Netherlands really explains why you get energy from doing your business. You're not selling
Mhm.
cookies. You might love cookies, but this really shakes your heart.
Exactly.
So the first part of it is really related to where you get your motivation and drive from, but the social, environmental, and the digital are just as valid for your business. What's your network?
Mhm.
Okay, it's really important to be in touch with the right people to be able to achieve your business goals. Where do you place yourself, whether it's in the physical environment or the digital one? And how is your prospect for the year? How are you going to make it from quarter to quarter? How are you going to reach your goals? All these things are way more measurable from a business perspective, but we always have to remember that we as humans are more emotional. We try to be rational, we try to rationalize things, but looking at a red bank statement and being like, I know there is work lined up, so it's going to be okay, doesn't take away the bad feeling of the red
Mhm.
bank statement. And dealing with those type of emotions, dealing also with the disappointment of the job not going through, COVID canceling all live events, all these shifts that you have to make, they cost you energy as a human, but also as a business. And I think for a business, it's also very interesting when you look at it from team dynamics. I hope that answers your question a little bit.
Wow, we're just in question one. I'm like, you answer so many things at the same time, and it really invites everybody who's watching to join the conversation, because especially for small companies, when you're like just a solo entrepreneur or just two co-founders, you really need to think about all the aspects that affects how you perform in business, how you even think about starting a new business, or
Mhm.
think right now what business means to you after a whole, in the middle of the whole pandemic and a whole new, what we call new reality. Actually, what the only thing that stays is change, right? Things are going to be constantly moving, and how you respond to
Non-stop.
that and how to align your inner energy chakras, or however we call them, will help us to really understand,
Mhm.
or like to reaffirm or reconfirm that we really still want that business. I can be thinking right now, I miss too much to do face-to-face events. If I cannot do it, I lose my energy just watching at this screen.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
can lose it. I can lose my motivation and then think, what is my next
true.
step? So uh, that's why we also think about how can energy in business provide you with a refreshed vision of your current business, your
Mhm.
current situation, right?
It's very
So
true.
that's something that we need to think about, and think how we can now say, starting this quarter, I still want to do this, or wait a moment, this is not connecting with me anymore. What can I do from a new perspective, right?
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, that's a great way to put it. To also realize that if something is not working the way it used to, you still have options. You can choose to change certain aspects and then innovate. And I think this is a great time to innovate.
Yeah. So how to take energy in business, or any, yeah, energetic dimensions as a tool, or as a way to
Mhm.
think in a refreshed way about your business, like to build a new vision or perspective, or even set new business goals.
I think the biggest example that I have for that is a lot of entrepreneurs that I know feel disencouraged in their
Mhm.
business because they look at the financial results. They're like, I had a financial goal to hit 20K this quarter, and I'm not even at 8 or 7 or 6.
Mhm.
Boom, energy drops. mm, Drink a
Mhm.
beer, recover. Well, actually, if you look at the all the dimensions of your business, so who have you been connecting with, who have you been helping, what have you been doing, really looking at all the things that are beyond the financial dimension. And if you are
Mhm.
really able to celebrate those wins just as much as you would the financial ones, is a great way to keep your spirit up. Because within life or business, the perspective you have, the outlook, the amount of drive you have to continue really has to do with how happy you are with the current state. And as much as you can get a lot of drive from being unhappy, like, oh, I'm tired of this situation, I'm going to fight my way out of it, is great,
Mhm.
but it's not sustainable energy. You will burn yourself up. If you want to continue consistently to create content, to have coffee breaks, to reach out to new people, expand the network, all those aspects of your business should feed you just as much as the financial successes. So, in that sense, I think it's really important for everybody who has a business is to be looking at their business beyond the reports that are financial. So, is my team happy? Can people be honest with each other? Can we have a good argument or not? All these things are very important for a business to be sustainable, because in the end, the only thing why energy management exists is for sustainable performance. Otherwise, you can light a match, burn it up, enjoy the heat while it's lasting, but it's going to run out. If you want something that continuously keeps on giving, keeps on growing, it needs to be in balance. And in that sense, um, I think for businesses really realizing that all these dimensions can give you stress. Okay, you can it can cost you energy, so you might have a period that you have a lot of stress because of your finances. But if you're able to open your eyes and look at all the dimensions, you're like, hey, actually, I'm doing good. And
Yeah.
you can also end up in a situation that your finances are super, But your co-founder, you want to choke them because they annoy you. Okay? But then at some point you're also gonna quit that business even despite of the money.
Mm-hmm. 100%. And I think that the transition between, like, like the hierarchy, that money or that financials, are like the role it plays is super high. And sometimes
Mhm.
for us to keep the balance and to have, like you explained, other things that really give you identify with your business and think, oh, I'm successful because I'm doing this and this and that as well, and have the
Mhm.
whole picture, that really helps you to put things in a fair place, I will say.
Yeah.
Yeah, also in the beginning of the year when we were working, also with other entrepreneurs, we had an amazing experience of like setting up, the intentions and the goals for this year, but from energetic perspective, and that was something that I
Amazing.
never did. We did it together with
Amazing.
you. And I remember that the trust in the process was one of my key takeaways, like to trust yourself as a business owner, to trust that
Mhm.
what you're doing, comes from the core of who you are. And
Mhm.
therefore, when you're really in line with that, things will just happen as a consequence. We're talking about how to even set business goals based on the intentions rather on metrics, and yeah, of course, increase how many numbers or whatever, but more in the intention of making things work in a way that it can translate to business. That's a concept that sometimes
Beautiful.
is difficult to explain, but for me
Yeah.
it was a complete shift on how to do business, how to think about your business, not from the dashboards and from the bank accounts, but from the intentions that you have on what you are bringing to the world through your business. No matter if you're not doing any spiritual business or anything about social
Mhm.
impact, what you're bringing to the world with that product, that service, everything that
Mhm.
makes you basically wake up every day.
What was the biggest difference for you? Now you have tried both ways.
Oh, this was like not thinking about numbers and not thinking like, oh, I'm not so good at financial. Like every entrepreneur has an issue with financials. Everybody, like, I'm not good with math, or I don't know if I'm charging the right price, or what is
Mhm.
the thing. Well, anyway, so for me it was like putting things in balance, like put things in a justice place where I can see myself doing a lot of work in so many different energetic dimensions to make my business, successful for me. And that
Mhm.
was something, yeah, one, to basically understand what it means, like what is business success for me. And the
Yeah.
second one, like how to see my business from the intention of what I want, in terms of impact than in terms of money. Because when
Mhm.
you're doing the thing that you really, really is like, I need to do this, that sense of emergency, that sense of love for what you do brings the rest, and brings the time, brings the network, brings the money as a consequence. So when you only think business success means how much money you have in your bank account today, you will probably be frustrated, because even when you're making too much money, you will think, this is not enough. Because as an entrepreneur, by nature, we're self-demanding like crazy. Like
Well said.
nobody else but ourselves. We are like always like, you can do better than this. You can do. We're
You
high
need more.
performers. Yeah. You want to run the whole marathon when you're starting, like how to learn, like learn how to run. And for me, it was just like that, understanding what is for me a good cardio,
Beautiful.
understand how far I can go, right? Yeah.
Beautiful. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, and it was thanks to you and thanks to all these experts that we have helping us understand beyond, what you normally define as business, like
Mhm.
it's so easy to, just go to Amazon, pick a product and sell it and get money in return. It's just so easy to do something completely meaningless for you,
Mhm.
right? So for me, like to give meaning and to give a meaning that can translate to this makes good business sense was like the big booyah, the big revelation for me. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. So now we have the second part. Okay, you as a business owner, you got it. Maybe you and your co-founder, you're like, yes, we should put the whole recipe, not only cook with one ingredient, but with all the ingredients that we have at hand. But what about the others? You know what? It's important to have your team on board with this approach to business, from an energetic perspective, because you can be completely like, boom, I believe in this, but what about your
Mhm.
colleagues, your interns, even your providers, like the people that you talk on your partners, yeah, on a
Mhm.
regular basis, how to make this work within teams.
I think the team aspect of it is actually super important. The effect we as people have on each other, is profound. Within teams, we rely on each other. I think the best example I have for it right now, we have an intern. She's amazing. She's kicking ass. She's super good. She's younger than us. She doesn't know how or when to take a break. So us explaining the energetic dimensions, explaining to her that actually it is more sustainable if she allows herself to have breaks. It's impossible for her. So we have to make it a part of her task list like, hey, plan your break, schedule it. Why
Yeah.
exactly? Tell us how it was. What did you do in your break? How did you feel afterwards? Because if you look at teamwork, and I myself am the owner of the business, so the other people I'm working with are are reporting to me. There
Mhm.
is a little bit of a disbalance in the relationship. We might say everybody's equal and this is a flat organization, but at the end of the day, they cannot fire me. I can fire them. Okay. So creating a sense of safety where somebody can say, hey, I like this objective, this goal is great, but the timeline is not realistic. If I make that timeline, it means that the week after I'm not great. This is a very simple example of how you can actually continuously operate with people if you're able to set the expectations and boundaries correct. And it might seem a bit weird related to the energetic dimensions, but it requires every team member to be aware of their own energy levels. Because if my intern shows up after a crazy party, she cannot perform. I prefer her to call me and go to bed, and we'll see her the next day instead of
Mhm.
showing up without energy. Because when I see her, I expect her to perform.
Yeah.
So these things are very important when you're dealing with a team, especially our age, older people dealing with kids, having a bad rest at night, or right now with the state of the world, if you're very worried about your family, okay,
Mhm.
it can decrease your energy, it can decrease your focus. And if there is no space for that, if there is no place where you and your team can say, hey, I'm really feeling horrible, okay, let's take a little walk, let's freshen up, let's do something to bring up the energy levels, it's gonna ruin your teamwork. Because if you put a bunch of tired people together and they're also under the how do you say it, a deadline, then it's gonna create arguments and frustration because everybody's stressed. And the energetic dimensions are there to actually not only realize where you are spending energy, but also to know where you are harvesting energy.
Yeah. And the difficult thing is to have that clarity that helps you to basically have it across the organization without having a chart like, hey, these are the energetic dimensions. Like you don't need to school people on it. You need to have it so clear for yourself that you can operate
Mm.
at that level, like from the intern to the boss to whoever, to the
I'm
investors.
creating this year a lot of interesting content around how to recognize when your
Mhm.
energy is low.
Mm.
For you, if you are able to say, hey, I don't know why, I don't care about which energetic dimensions, but I notice something with my breath, I notice something around my posture, there's tension in my neck, that means actually that I'm in a bad place energetically. That's
Mhm.
one part of it, to be able to notice it. And then I have a whole bunch of exercises that can shift that in your body within 5 minutes. So it's going to be really
Mm.
interesting here from that perspective, because it is definitely an awareness issue. I myself, I am the champion in denying anything that has to do with my energy level. I'm just like go, 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 go,
Yeah.
go. I really had
100%.
to
Yeah,
learn
it's
this.
amazing that actually we need help in understanding, when are we low? Because
Mhm.
sometimes you can just go on Halloween party the whole year,
Yeah, yeah,
wearing a costume like, hey, Maria, I'm so cheerful. Look at me. I close the laptop. I'm kaput.
exactly,
Done.
exactly.
Why I'm so tired, and then you don't understand
Yeah,
why you're so tired, why you're restless, and just understanding the signals and having that awareness and having somebody external that
yeah.
can help us to recognize that and basically refocus and reboost the energy. It's
Yeah.
good, but also it is okay, like not to have energy. Like to give yourself the license to be like low energy for a day, for a break, or for whatever, and say, I'm out. Huh? That's
I
also
think, yeah,
okay.
I think the biggest realization comes when the day that you notice that you are low on energy, and then you decide to do something that gives you energy, and then you come back and you're refreshed, and you're like, whoa, I'm a genius.
Exactly.
It's
Well, we
good.
have 5 minutes left. So if anybody has any questions or wants to hop on into our conversation, feel free to ask anything. As I always say, there's no stupid questions or things that are obvious, because we're even talking about something that is still new, and still new specifically in business, for those who are
Yeah.
normally into mindfulness or yoga or doing exercise, then you understand what we're talking about. But if you're all laptop and work, like I used to be for many, many years, this is like Chinese right now, or alien topics.
Don't get it wrong, Maria. A lot of these concepts I've been teaching within yoga schools.
Yeah.
A lot of people who are doing yoga, who are doing meditation, the reason why they are doing it is because they have these challenges. To
Yeah.
truly be able, if you look at all the research of high performers, the people who are able to achieve the Grand Prix, who are playing Wimbledon, all these people, the one thing that they share, the one thing that they're good at is they're able to disengage. So
Mhm.
to shut it off and then just play for a moment and just relax and let go. The body can regulate itself again, and then you can perform again. And it is
Mhm.
very normal for all of us right now because these things are new. We were not here when these things already existed. So we are learning to deal with a world that is always on 24/7. I have access to everything, and I feel like I need to access it also. It's too
Mhm.
much. So to truly learn for yourself how to disengage is new for everybody, and it's something you can practice. It's a skill. It's not a talent that you need. It's not something that you were born with or without. It's something that as soon as you realize, hey, actually I am more efficient, more productive with this, it's going to blow your mind. It's so amazing.
Show me. That's amazing. So
Yeah.
now that we have 3 minutes to go, I want
Sure.
to invite everybody to continue a conversation with Amor. We have all of our experts available for free calls on the topics that we're covering, and also other topics. You mentioned so many amazing things, like from business sustainability, like your own performance, understanding when you're high, low energy, what gives you energy actually, how to manage your teams. Well, the list is endless. And I think that this is an amazing, like topic to start our coffee breaks and this new season. And I just want to wish everybody an amazing quarter and thank Amor for everything that you're doing and everything that you're bringing to a lot of business owners. We posted in comments, but there you go. There's the
There
link
you
so you
go.
can book a call with Amor and talk about anything that you're experiencing or now is a challenge, or even something that you want to even make more clear and more focused for yourself and your team. Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
that's it. Those are the next steps. We're happy to start this week like that. And I don't know if there's anything else or any tips, actionable tips on how to evaluate and measure the outcome of introducing all these elements in your business, like everything that we can do with energetic dimensions in our business.
the
How do you
biggest the
measure
biggest
that we're in the
tip
right track?
the
Yeah.
biggest tip I can give people is to how do you say it? Go analog for 10 minutes. If you're feeling like you're not as productive or you're not where you're supposed to be, just move away from electronics for 10 minutes. See what it's like to be human, then come back and tell me how you're doing. It's a very simple one. It's a very simple one, but you understand in instantly actually how this is not per se how we reload as humans.
Super important. We never do that if normally, or like with that intention. So I think it's really
Mhm.
actionable. Like, just stop everything for 10 minutes and move away from electronics. Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
try. I'll
No,
try
good
to
luck,
do that.
Mario. I know this one is glued to your hand as well. It's difficult to get it out of your
Yeah,
hand.
yeah, yeah. We have it like, what's going on? It's not moving away. Okay, that's everything. Thank you so much for the tips, for the insights, for the wisdom, for everything that we're putting out there for so many people, and for anybody who's going to be watching this video later. It's going to be there forever. So make sure that
Enjoy.
you register to our, like, you subscribe to our channels, via YouTube or our Facebook page. We're going to be posting our new events. We host events in English and Spanish. So we have something
Nice.
really amazing and juicy on performance marketing coming up with one of our experts, and we're going to talk about accountant things and taxes and all these things that are more mental. But that's why we wanted to start this month with these topics. They're like first things first. What's your base, right? So
Foundations. Foundations are
yes,
important.
foundations. That's it. Business fundamentals. Thank you, and have a nice day, everybody.
Bye
Hasta la
bye.
vista.
Hasta luego.
Ciao.